Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's unseen video. Obviously, we got a big update with Nightbird and we did a really good video on that earlier. People seem to really enjoy it. I do have something to add to that video though. I'm sure you saw the link wasn't working for me. So I was working from an image that I'd kindly been sent and that showed nothing in the tags. Somehow there is something in the tags though. If you actually had that picture downloaded from the link, there were coordinates in the tags. I didn't have them, but then I was using a picture that I had been sent, so that might explain why I didn't get them. But they were just coordinates to Corpus Christi. It wasn't anything major, but I want to make sure everyone's aware that there were coordinates in the tags of the picture. It's really frustrating because I always check the tags. Obviously, we found stuff in the picture image tags before, so I always think to look there, and I looked there, and I had nothing. And then it turns out that if you actually downloaded it from the actual website yourself, then you did get something. So there we go. Wanted to get that out there so that we're all on the same page. But to be honest, really, other than that, there's nothing that's really been discovered. Lots of thoughts and theories, and we'll go through those now. And then we'll move on to some of the other stuff that's gone down in WWE today. So this is quite a big one here, Aaron, talking about the face. So what this looks like to me is it looks like Uncle Howdy shaking his head really quickly. That's kind of how it looks to me, because you can sort of see this blurring, right? So I feel like this is Uncle Howdy moving his head in like different positions, and for some reason it's kind of stuttering and capturing it at different times. But this face here, I do agree that this here definitely feels different. It feels different, and it does make me think about how the words of the red are Bray. So why do we seem to have a different face in red compared to like the other colors that we have? I've got so many people tell me they see different things. Same, to be honest. I've seen words, I've seen faces, I've seen so much stuff in here. It's hard to know what's actually there and what your brain is kind of tricking you into seeing, right? But I think we can all agree that that definitely looks like a nose. That definitely looks like a mouth. You can see where the eyes would be here. This thing in red here definitely feels like a face. And it doesn't feel like an Uncle Howdy face. And I don't know whose face that is or even where it's coming from. Because part of a theory I had was, do you remember when we saw Howdy turned around, he had a bright white face, and then it did sort of like settle down and it was slightly red. Clearly this isn't the color of this mask, but what if he is wearing a mask over his mask now? There obviously was that theory that it was like an owl mask, the court of owls. Well, what if it's actually a little bit more human-like in its form? What if this is maybe a glimpse at the mask that's being worn over Howdy's mask? I don't know. It was just a thought that popped into my head. The fact that it's red makes me think of Bray. The fact that it doesn't look like Howdy makes me think that it's someone else's face. And then it just led me to what we saw the other day when he had his arms outstretched and he turned around and he seemed to have a very white face, and it didn't look like the Howdy mask. It looked like he was wearing potentially something over the top of that. So these are just a few thoughts that I've kind of had that I've been putting together myself. But obviously, thanks to you guys tagging me in all your thoughts and tagging me in all the stuff that you kind of wanted to talk about as well. But yeah, no one's been able to find anything concrete. We still don't quite know where this picture has been taken. I mean, there's every chance this was taken round by Rob Fee's house. I think that these definitely look like they are a structure. of some kind. Like, these could be wooden boards, potentially, that are coming down. This could be like a fence or like a mesh that you put around a pool or something like this. I can't tell if Howdy is inside a place and then there's another image that's kind of been put on top or is in the background, or if this is just all the same image. I really cannot tell where he is. This really feels to me like it's like a hedge, like it's a tree. This kind of pattern in here. I could totally believe that these are trees, these are woods. I could totally believe that we've got an image of the outside, and then we've got Howdy inside somewhere. Like, is this a roof? Is he kind of looking? Is he looking down? Is the camera kind of looking up at him? Is he in a room? Like, this is why I'm saying maybe this doesn't quite match with this. Maybe this is two images layered on top of each other, and maybe even more than that. So, because obviously we've got this face as well, and we don't know where that's come from. So, he does say all will be revealed, and I still stand by what I said earlier. I do think that this has been taken from a video, or it's a screen grab from a TV. These lines and the colors and all of that definitely feels very much like what we would see back in the day whenever you'd have to change, say, tracking on a VH. Do you remember that? When you had a VHR, you'd have to sometimes change the tracking to get the picture quite right. Because sometimes you would put a video in, sometimes it'd be the ones you would record yourself, and it would be a bit off. It wouldn't quite work. It wouldn't quite just play. So you had to kind of change the tracking. I have no idea what that did. Right, but you had to move these dials to kind of get the picture just right. Honestly, you kids, you don't know what we've been through. So, yeah, it kind of reminds me a lot of that. So, Aaron, shout out to you, my friends. Here's SlamX saying the coordinates were hidden in the tags of this image. It's the same place where we're going on June 17th. So we covered that one as well. SlamX, shout out to you. Frankie also pointed out that J1724, it could be John 1724. Father, I want those of you that have given me to be with me where I am, and to see my glory, the glory you have given me, because you have loved me before the creation of the world. Don't know if that fits, to be honest with you. I look at that and there's, you know, bits in there that you can take from it. But I feel like this is probably just June 17th, 2024. But I liked this out of the box thinking, having a look in the Bible. We know there's been a lot of Bible references, so I like this. I wanted to include this. I thought that was very good. So Frankie, shout out to you. Right, C121S thinks that they decoded this first line. I'm going to say thinks, because Rob Fee has actually come out and said there is no Morse code in the picture. He said that in, I think it was to SlamX, in one of, like a personal message. He said, I just didn't want you driving yourself insane. He seemed to be genuine as well. He seemed to be genuinely saying, to my knowledge, there's nothing hidden there. You don't need to waste your time with that. But obviously, I think a lot of us saw these white dots and dashes and thought, oh my God, that's Morse codes. I certainly thought that and said that in the video earlier. So I was very much under the impression there was something there. C121 thinks they've worked out, hello there, how are you doing today? Right? And they could have. I mean, it could be there. But I don't know that it is. And even if it is, I don't know if that's something that they purposefully planted. But again, I thought this was interesting enough to include. As I said, I think it's a bit tricky because there's a lot of dots and dashes, and some of them are kind of borderline, I've seen. Like, it's not clean as in like a dot and a dash are the exact same size, or there's some dashes that are like smaller. And so I do lean towards it actually not being Morse codes, because I think if it was Morse code, I think they would make it easier, because some of them dashes are smaller than some of the other dashes, and they're kind of like, you can sort of make out they're still dashes, but the whole thing is so hard. It's so time consuming. I'm not sold that it is Morse code, to be perfectly truthful. Right, here's Cami Taro Saki. He said, I messed around with the filters, and this is what I got. I like that. I mean, here, I sort of feel like either the hands are coming up to the face, because I can see, like, I feel like I can see a hand here, maybe the other one here, and that looks like a sleeve, and that looks like a sleeve. So I get the impression that the hands are coming up, but it could also be that the hand's not coming up. It's actually extending out. So it could be that this hand extends out here, this hand extends out here, and it's like a selfie. He's like recording himself. I can't quite tell if the arms are coming out or if they're going up to his face, because that could be that he's kind of covering his mouth like that. Because I can totally see that with that there and then that there, but then equally I can see that as well. So I can't tell which one he's doing, but I do feel this has been took from a video. I do feel like this is something that we're going to get more footage of. I don't think this is just an image and we don't get anything further. I think this has been took from a video. So, Cammy, shout out to you. Here, SlamX. So, a personal, I don't know what a PCA is. I know PM, like private message or DM direct. What's a PCA? A PCA, a personal shout-in application. From Rob Feet says, there's no Morse code in the picture, at least non-intentionally. Lol. So there we go. There's Rob kind of saying, making it clear. I think SlamX had got back in touch and was like, thanks, dudes, or something like this. And Rob was like, yeah, man, I just didn't want you wasting like loads of time looking for something that's not there. So I think he's probably telling the truth. Although I did say he just wants to solve it himself. Rob's just throwing us off the scent so that he can solve it and he can get all the glory. We're on to you, Rob. We're on to you. Oh, I really like this. So Wrestling Rianne said, I'm a little bit late to this, right? But I was just tinkering with the red, the blue, the green filters to see if anything's hidden. I think the green gives us the most detailed image. It's not as fuzzy, right? I really like this. So it says, let's go over here. It says, when three filters are added together, the white image does show some greenery or forest in the background on like a porch railing behind where Howdy could be sitting, fit in with what Daze saw. So, yeah, I definitely think there's something here. I can't tell if this is one image or two images. I keep saying that because I really mean it. I can't quite get the perspective of it. I mean, I don't know if he's looking down, camera's looking up, and maybe this is a see-through roof. You know, maybe, but then what is this? Would this be the wall? So this wouldn't be the floor. This would be a wall. But then how are the trees showing through the... Unless there's like a big forest that goes up and they're really close to the trees. So, see what I mean about how this is a bit difficult? Let's go over here. Let's go full screen. Let's have a look at some of these. So that's the green one. I mean, it's definitely Howdy with a jacket. Of course it is. Everyone can see that. Hat on. Howdy mask. I mean, it's Howdy, right? Again, is that grass and is that a floor? Or is that a wall? Right, obviously it's not brickwork, but even so, it could be like the outside of a house. But then, what is this structure that's coming out? Again, could it be like a mesh roof? But then, what is this that we've got kind of over here? That doesn't look like sky to me. So, yeah, it's really difficult, isn't it? It's really difficult. And then you've got to add in the fact that your eyes definitely play tricks with you. I mean, I've had people telling me they can see Huskus. I've had people telling me they can see the Fiend. I've had people telling me that they can see faces at the top. I mean, I've seen things as well. I mean, I could see the letter M and E around this area here, right? And I really thought that it would turn out there was a hidden word there. Nothing has shown itself. So, I mean, I think we've all been seeing little bits and bobs. This picture has definitely messed with people's heads. They've done a great job with this. So that was the green. This is the red. Don't know if that's given us anything. See what I mean by, like, something being here? Something being there. Which I'm still not quite ready to abandon it, but, you know, it's, yeah. Like, I feel like that's an O, and I feel like that's an M, and I definitely felt like I saw an E as well earlier, but don't know. The blue doesn't seem to give us much at all, does it? The blue doesn't seem to kind of give us... Oh, I can't really take anything from that. And then if you put them, like, together... Again, it's hard, innit? I mean, that's definitely... There's something here, and there's clearly a pattern here, but, yeah. So it's one that has really fried people's brains. Right, let's go back. So, Tajinder said, Daze, I just saw your video. I have been tied up with work. The image looks awesome. And I agree, it's definitely like an evolved version of Howdy. Could the lines be the words? They look like the stitching pattern. I really like that. If you saw the documentary, right, if you saw the Bray documentary, then you'll know that there was stitching that was in the pants for the Fiend. It doesn't look exactly the same, but I've got an image of it here. So here you can see, like, the words, the letters. This is obviously massively blown up. So if I actually fit it to screen, you can sort of see... You know, that was just a little glimpse. I mean, it was so small, you didn't even know that they were letters from a distance. But they were letters. I believe it's the names of his kids that was on the new Fiend pants. So you kind of look at that and you can see that there was something there. And then if you go back to this, you can sort of see the white dots. I mean, these could absolutely be words, couldn't they? They could, and when you look close, they're not. They're just dots. They're dashes, which is what led people to thinking that that was Morse codes. But as we said, we've now heard from Rob Fee, who's behind this campaign, and he says, "Don't waste your time." But I really like that shout from Tajinder. I thought that was really good. Here's Chris McNeil. Shout out to you, my friend. He said, "I figured it out. I think it's half Howdy and half Fiend." Again, it's not showing itself to be that at the moment, but you can sort of see that, like, the blurring. You could see why someone would think that that's the Fiend, and there's been other people that have kind of come to that conclusion as well. But when we actually look at, like, the individual color breakdowns and everything, the Fiend just never seems to show itself. I mean, for me, this is Howdy potentially moving his head really, really quickly, getting like a blurred shot, but you know, we have this face, don't we? That face there, I think, is probably the one that really seems to stand out more than anything else. There have been people talking about that potentially being something like, is that a jaw or something like that? But it's just so hard. It's so difficult. I think this picture is designed to play tricks on us, you know. Brady said there's been some great work done in the Discord, so Metal Gaming Zone, shout out to you. We do have a Wrestling Daze Discord, and there is some really good investigating work. I mean, look at this, just going through all the different colors and everything. So, again, you know, we're seeing some really good work there. I mean, I think that looks awesome. I mean, that again looks different, doesn't it? You could interpret that a few different ways. Then we've got this one where we're just, you know, you can see that face over here coming through. And then, so they're saying Metal Gaming Zone did some color grades. There looks like there could be 4 heads in the picture. So, yeah, you can. We've got a whole Nightbird folder in our Discord. And honestly, I think if you're into Nightbirds, I think that would be a really interesting place to share some of your thoughts. I need to try and find a way of getting in there and trying to bring that into videos, and I'm definitely looking to do that. But I think this works pretty well. If you want to, if you make any discoveries or you've got something you think needs shouting about, like Brady has just done here, dropping it into a tweet, that'll do it as well. So excellent work. And then here, look, Hard Crex said, is he wearing a mask? Why does his jacket look like that? Can you help? No one can help at the moment. Everyone's got like slightly different thoughts, slightly different theories on this one. It's a real tricky one to decode as to what we're actually getting. I don't think, you know, I know we've spent nearly 20 minutes on it. I don't think we actually need to worry about it too much, because I do think we're going to get the video that it's taken from. I do think that we're going to get that next clue, that next piece. But I mean, look, this is undeniably Howdy. It's undeniably Howdy, but there does feel like there's a bit more to it than just that, doesn't there? So we've got that. That's the secret folder. We've got the Nightbird thing. Rolando said, I can't wait till June 17th. People are flipping loving putting my face in things at the moment. So there we go. That's what it actually, if you just change the colors a little bit, that is what you end up getting. So Rolando, shout out to you. And this was great from Crimson. Crimson said the poster is dedicated to all the QCD members. So the QR code detectives. And this was brilliant from Crimson. You can see the little day stream here. We've got 17.6. We've got like the image. I mean, what a great... I mean, this is really clever. This is really good. I mean, the perspectives and the drawing of the lines and the article. And look at that, the old picture with Plato's cave. Bray up here. Crimson absolutely killing it, man. Brilliant work. Brilliant work. So, Crimson, shout out to you. So, that's, I think, the Bray stuff at the moment. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see if we get anything on Thursday. We're definitely getting some on Friday. I'm sure we'll get another QR codes. And I feel like this may link to that. I feel like what we've just had might be the tease for what we get Friday, unless we get something later on Thursday. Right, let's have a look at NXT, shall we? We've got a few bits to take a look at here. So, if we keep going down. Oh, right, yeah, that's all those bits. That's all stuff for, it's just graphics, for NXT Battlegrounds. Here is Brooks Jensen, right? This got a lot of people excited 5 hours ago, right?
Shawn Michaels, NXT, WWE, you can throw me out of the building. You can shut down my Twitter, but one way or another, I am going to have my voice heard. And you'll see.
So you can shut down my Twitter, but I am going to have my voice heard. You'll see. Now, we have had a report from Fightful saying at the moment they don't believe there's any plans in place for Brooks to go over to TNA. It feels like we're just sort of using that partnership, that relationship, to just kind of drum up a little bit of interest. But it's working both ways, because if there isn't a plan, well, now you've got Brooks Jensen here posing in front of a Joe Hendry image. And obviously we know that a lot of people are excited by Joe Hendry. So that's something which has gained a lot of traction online, and people have been very excited about the potential of something here. But Fightful is saying at the moment they're not aware of anything, or people aren't telling them of anything. But again, something to keep an eye on. Right, Joe Coffey saying that NXT did 768,000 in the ratings. Ratings went up again, and he says, coincidence? Since Gallus have been back around, the ratings have gone through the roof. So it's hard to argue, isn't it? I don't think it's got anything to do with Jordynne Grace, TNA, Sexy Reds, the build for Battlegrounds, Ethan Page. It's Gallus, isn't it? It's definitely Gallus. So Gallus boys on top, killing it. And we got this as well. Corey Brennan of Fightful saying that Brooks Jensen's original Twitter, I don't think that's the one that he uses now. I think it's maybe his original one has been hacked. Apparently there is some hacking going on in the IWC at the moment, so just be careful with that. But apparently this got hacked, and this was his original Twitter account, which is a bit random. It could be storyline, of course, right? Here's Randy Orton. He said he doesn't see anyone ever breaking his record of being the youngest world champion. And the young OG said, all respect to you, Randy, but I love a challenge, OG. Man, if anyone deserves to break that right now, it's the young OG. It's Javon Evans. If you watch NXT, you'll know just how exciting he is. So, yeah, I'm backing the young OG to break this record. I think Randy was, 24? Young OG's just turned 20. So, there's a chance. Right, here's Trick Williams. He was talking about CM Punk, so let's just bring that over. He says, mentor is a perfect way to put it, man. He's been a blessing for all of us who would take the time to actually go and talk to him and reach out to him. He's helped me with a few things that I feel like if the crowd knew about it, they would be very grateful that he did. I'll just leave it there. Shout out to CM Punk. He's been a positive light for all of us here in NXT. Wholesome. So there we go. Some real positive words from Trip Williams to Adrian Hernandez, Wrestle Features, picking up the story. So very, very cool. And then we've got this, look, Natalya and Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace saying the prohibited portal. Look at this. We've got Jordynne Grace having a laugh with Natalya backstage at NXT. And very, very cool. I mean, she just fits in naturally, doesn't she? This is like, I know it might be a bit offensive to our TNA fans, but it just feels like home for Jordynne Grace. Like, she's just absolutely loving it. And you know that WWE are going to be interested in her. I mean, she is making great impressions. I think she made a great impression at the Rumble. And now here she is in NXT, and all the reports are people are absolutely loving having her around. So I could see her joining WWE at some point in the future. I think her contract, I heard, is up in 2025. So I don't know. I've heard people saying WWE could buy out her contract. WWE could use her with this partnership and just keep using her until the contract expires. Or who knows? I mean, or just be front of the queue in 2025. I think TNA are going to really struggle to keep Jordynne Grace as soon as her contract does expire. So that was NXT. Then we've got WWE stuff. Only one thing in here. Jason, shout out to you, buds. Quite a few people tagging me in this. This dropped 7 hours ago. Asuka saying my knee. I mean, look at that. There's Asuka in recovery with her knee, obviously surgery. She's got all the support on and everything. So not expecting Asuka to be back anytime soon by the looks of this. So maybe a bit more serious than what we thought there. But there's an update from Asuka. I think that just leaves fun and other now, to be honest. Here we've got fun. GS Dubcode said, this is why Wrestling Daze makes the big bucks. Detailed journalism. You can see there, that is me really dialed in, trying to bring you every detail from yesterday's Unseen. We were studying every pixel of this picture. So there we are. Thank God it wasn't a bit higher. Imagine if I was staring directly at her boobs. So thank God we didn't get that. But there we go. There's me. I'm still having a good look at the legs. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, brilliant. GC Dub code. I try to bring you every little detail. Oh, I love this. Watson, thank you. Night is WWE. So here's McDonald's saying we are currently out of boy toys. Sorry for the inconvenience. And there's Sean, a heartbroken Sean. McDonald's all out of boy toys. Right, here is Watson again. I decided to get a tattoo of the goat. So here we've got the tattoo. It's really good, actually. Nailed it. There you can see. Look at that. Look at that. There is his brand new John Cena tattoo. Absolutely killed it. Killed it. So there we go. Brilliant work, Watson. Shout out to you. Here's Matt's Coach Co. Here's Matt Cardona.
Chelsea's mad at me right now, but you can't yell at me. I'll show you why.
Don't make me laugh. Do not
yell at me, Chelsea. You're so bad. Yell at me. What's on your head?
Stop, because it needs to stay.
So there we go. She had her face mask on and she wasn't able to shout. Matt Cardona having a little bit of fun with that. Here's Sean Ross Zap. He said, Fightful has learned that Shane Haste, formerly known as Slapjack, has his contract expiring in New Japan soon. So here's a picture of Slapjack. There is Shane. And then here was Dijak. I don't know how he's got a hold of one of those masks, but somehow he's managed to get a hold of one of those. So there we go. He's sporting the Slapjack mask right there, and he's got his Monday Night Ratio shirt on as well. So very cool. Dijak continuing to kill it on social media. And then we've got our last folder. This is the other folder. Yeah, look at this. You did your hair. Oh my God, loud. This is Bailey, look, juggling away. And she goes to, like, sit down and then stand back up again as she's juggling. Right? And then doing it with, like, one leg off the ground, which is amazing. And she almost does, like, a dude perfect moment here, because she does drop that bit there, but then she goes, starts juggling again, and then she throws them into this thing over here. I don't know how many takes this took, but it doesn't matter. She nailed it. I mean, look at this. I can't even juggle. So she manages to do that. Change over the leg. Boom. There we go. And then as soon as she does this, she stops. And then, oh, look at that. Double leg. Boom. Into the thing. 1. In. 2. Straight in. 3. Misses. All that work, man. All that work. It's just a glimpse into... This is Bailey Perfect. We've had Dude Perfect. This is Bailey's new channel. It's going to be Bailey Perfect. So, killed it. Here, wrestlers and executives were asked what they would say if they were writing the eulogy for WCW. Bret Hart said, thanks for nothing. Go F yourselves. So that's Bret Hart's feelings on WCW. Hey, look at this. Here is Seth. So a new video of Seth training amidst his WWE hiatus. Rollins last wrestled at WrestleMania 40, where he pulled double duty before helping Cody Rhodes win the undisputed WWE title. So there we go. Look at that. There is Seth going through the motions. Obviously, we've not seen him since WrestleMania, so it's good to see him back around. Here's Wrestler Talk saying, look, here's a first look at Dave Bautista, Drew McIntyre in the Killer's Game movie. So there's a new film that's slated for September release, and it's going to feature both of these guys. So there we go. And then this is the last thing we've got. Jey Uso demands respect for the Anoa'i family. I don't quite get this, right? This is something that he put up on Instagram. He said, give my family our flowers whilst we're still in the game. Not when we leave it. 50 years and counting. So that's a message there from Jey Uso. Surely the Anoa'i family, right? Rikishi, Yokozuna, Umaga, Roman Reigns, The Rock, the Usos, surely they're one of the most celebrated. They're not like, they're not a secret, right? I don't quite get this. How does he not feel like this family gets celebrated? I mean, we've just done a whole bloodline thing for the past how many years? We just had the Anoa'i family tree displayed at, in Las Vegas when we were doing that kickoff WrestleMania event. Like, I feel like the Anoa'i family are probably the second most spoken about family in wrestling, just behind the McMahon family. And the McMahon family conversations are not great conversations, are they, to be honest? So I think they do get their flowers, but seemingly Jey doesn't quite feel that they're still being acknowledged enough here. So there we go. 50 years and counting is amazing. I mean, it is amazing. But yeah, where would we be without them, eh? That is definitely a family WWE are lucky to have. AEW would love to have like an Anoa'i family, a family where these amazing talents just keep getting produced. And there'll be the next wave. Jay's kids, Jimmy's kids, Roman's kids. That next wave will arrive as well. So 50 years and counting, but I can see at least 50 more. So there we go. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know, again, it was very Nightbirds heavy, but we did manage to dig into a few other things as well. So appreciate the support as always. We'll be obviously back with another episode tomorrow. And who knows, there might be some more Nightbird stuff for us to talk about. Not sure yet, but we'll be keeping our eyes peeled. And we'll have Summit for you tomorrow. But of course, we will be back on Friday as well with our SmackDown stream. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.